Hi everyone, my name is Radhienza Aquirell Caesaria. I'm from the R4B class and I'm going to explain to you how to pronounce the consonant sound. So let's start with the first topic is lateral and approximant sounds. So the first sound is O, which is lateral, and the initial, medial, and final positions like look, million, and kill. The next is W, which is bilabial appropriate or semi-vowels. It is only has the initial and middle position, which is water and away. And then is R, which is retroflex approximant. It has initial, middle, and final. Read, sherry, and bar. Next, there is Y, which is palatal approximant. There's only initial and middle positions, which is yard and prayer. The next is English stops and fricatives, and the first English stops is P, which is voiceless, bilabial stop. And then the initial, medial, final position is like play, apple, and lip. And next is B, which is voiced, bilabial, and stop. The initial, medial, final positions like ban, rubbish, and rope. Okay, next is T, which is voiceless, alveolar, and stop. The initial, medial, final positions is like turn, matter, and meet. Okay, the next one is D, which is voiced, alveolar, stop. The initial, medial, final positions like dance, riding, and mad. Next is K, which is voiceless, feller, and stop. Initial, medial, final like kids, security, back. And then there is G, which is voiced, feller, and stop. The initial, medial, final positions like gone, bigger, and bag. And then there is glottal stop and the initial, medial, final like him, bottle, and not. Next, we're going to the fricative. The first one is F, which is voiceless, labiodental, and fricative. The initial, medial, final positions like far, define, and loaf. And then there is V, which is voiced, labiodental, fricative, and the initial, medial, final like very, available, and love. The next one is Th, or voiceless, interdental, fricative. The initial, medial, final like thought, either, and path. Next is T, which is voiced, interdental, fricative. The initial, medial, final like they, mother, and breathe. Next is S, which is voiceless, alveolar, and fricative. The initial, medial, final like soon, question, and class. Next is Z, which is voiced, alveolar, and fricative. The initial, medial, final like zone, dazzle, and has. Next is Sh, which is voiceless, alveopalatal, and fricative. The initial, medial, final like ship, bishop, and cash. Next is J, which is voiced, alveopalatal, and fricative. It is common in medial but rare in initial and final, like position, genre, and page. Next is H, which is glottal, fricative, and the initial, medial position like home and prohibit. The next topic is affricative and nasal sounds. So the first affricative is ch, which is voiceless, alveopalatal, and affricate. The initial, medial, final like chip, catch, and butcher. The next one is j, which is voiced, alveopalatal, and affricate. The initial medial final like joke, major, and judge. And then the nasal sounds, the first one is which is voiced, bilabial, and nasal. The initial medial final like mask, family, and film. And then which is alveolar and nasal. The initial medial final like nice, sentence, and can. The last one is which is velar nasal. The middle and final positions like king and singer.